All right. Have you upgraded your laptop lately? Now we got some MacBook news, or just Mac news and Mac computers in general. There is supposed to be an event coming. Rumors are there's an event coming up sometime in October, and they're going to announce M4 chips in a bunch of new Macs. Okay. So I wanted to make this video for the people that are wondering, should I upgrade now? Because I've gotten that question from a few people. So this video is for you. Okay. Now, recently, Apple just announced a bunch of old Macs as obsolete or vintage. So that means something. If your computer is in the obsolete or vintage list, I'm going to say yes, you need to upgrade. Here's some details on that.
So from time to time, you may hear that an Apple product officially becomes vintage or obsolete. Apple uses these two terms to describe the age of a product and how much support it gets. Now, what it really means is for vintage that a product hasn't been made in 5 years. So for instance, say you buy a MacBook and say that MacBook is actually manufactured for an entire year before a new MacBook replaces it. When they stop manufacturing it, that's when the clock starts ticking. And after 5 years, it's vintage. And after 7 years, it's obsolete. What it really means is that Apple doesn't supply replacement parts anymore. So let's say you have a vintage or obsolete Mac and you take it to a repair shop and needs a new part. If it's not vintage or obsolete, then that repair shop can go to Apple and order a replacement part. But once it's vintage or obsolete, then they can no longer get replacement parts from Apple. Doesn't mean they can't find replacement parts somewhere. Doesn't mean they can't take an off-the-shelf part. Like, for instance, hard drives are made by a number of manufacturers. But something like maybe a specific part of the case may be something that's only made from Apple. So you may still be able to get it repaired, especially if the part doesn't come from Apple. But it's going to be a lot harder to get Apple-specific parts at that point.
Okay, so check out that list. If you fall in that category, I'm urging you, go upgrade your MacBook. Okay, your MacBook Pro, your Mac Mini, whatever you're running. If you do your digital creative work as your business, this is the brain to your business. So you got to upgrade. Okay, if you're running something in 2017 and it has that little strip thing, it's time to upgrade, seriously. Especially if you do video or like high-end photography stuff. Quit that. You're playing around. So there was a news report recently that said that the M3 MacBooks, which were announced earlier this year, had a big price drop. I think it was like $600. So instantly, it's reachable. A high-end MacBook, you can get that now. Now the question is, do you get the M3? Or do you wait for these M4 MacBooks or other computers, we don't know yet, that are rumored to be announced this month? Okay, that's the newer one. But M3s are really good. Now, I'm running a M1 Max chip in my MacBook Pro. It has been great to me. I edit 4K video. I do raw photo editing. It's been amazing. No problems. I bought it in 2021. And usually I upgrade every 2 years, but this has been going so well for me that I haven't had to. There was no signs. Only recently has there been signs of some choppy things. So for me, I might upgrade to the M4 if that's announced in October. But Apple recently added the M4 chip in their iPad Pros in the last Apple keynote. So just to hear a little bit about how fast the M4 chips are, here's that announcement.
M4 represents another big step forward for Apple Silicon. To start, M4 is built on second-generation 3nm technology that's even more power efficient. This was essential to deliver incredible performance in the exceptionally thin and light design of iPad Pro. And M4 also features an entirely new display engine designed with pioneering technology that enables the stunning precision, color, and brightness of the Ultra Retina XDR display. In addition, M4 brings phenomenal performance to the new Pro. It has a powerful new CPU and builds upon the next generation GPU architecture debuted on M3. The new CPU with up to 4 performance cores and now with 6 efficiency cores, all with next generation ML accelerators, delivers up to 50% faster CPU performance over M2 in the previous iPad Pro.
Okay, so this thing's fast. You're going to be able to do everything you need to do with these new Macs. Okay, if it happens, it's still rumors. But Gary from MacMost speaks, and these are reliable sources. He speaks a little bit on the rumors of what may be coming at this keynote.
Apple is apparently going to be holding an October event this year to announce new iPads, including an updated iPad mini, along with first Macs to have the M4 series of chips. Let's start with the MacBook Pro. We aren't expecting any major changes here except for the inclusion of that M4 chip. Now, the M4 chip will be the main attraction for most of these Macs that I'm going to talk about here. But the good news is it should continue to help power the slate of Apple Intelligence features that should be finally making its way to the general public later in October. You can pretty much throw the iMac into this equation. We are expecting a new one, but it's most likely just going to be an M4 chip update, and no other major changes are expected. Now, the Mac Mini is actually expected to get a pretty big redesign here, and the first one for the Mac Mini since 2010. The new Mac Mini will apparently approach the size of an Apple TV, but it may be slightly taller than the current model, which is 1.4 inches high. It will continue to feature an aluminum shell, and individuals working on this new device apparently say that it's essentially an iPad Pro in a small box.
Okay, so there you have it. That's everything we know right now. You make the decision. I can't hold your hand all the way through. Tell me in the comment section, are you going to upgrade? What are your thoughts? I think if they announce some new M4 chip, MacBook Pro, Max, whatever, the highest ones, I'm probably going to go with that. I think it's time. And I kind of need 2 MacBooks right now. I'm not going to say why, but I need it. I hate seeing people running these old Macs, man. It's a ticking time bomb. Upgrade now. I see people upgrading their camera gear all the time when they don't really need to. They just have fun. You can't just keep buying the fun tech and neglect your machine. Okay? Let's get out there. Friends don't let friends run old MacBook Pros. Okay?